Hi there, Kevin Tharp here, and today I want to talk to you about the stuff that we're talking about in Module Two. So we're talking about the use of information and communication technologies, specifically as how it relates to business, careers, life, that kind of thing. And so when I started thinking about the module, there were three words that came to my head: data, innovation, and change, because that's the state of the world that we're in right now when we're talking about information and communication technology. So I just went ahead and I went in and I did a search for data, innovation, and change. And what I find is, lots of information about how to use for forecasting where data and business and analytics and all of those things are going to go. So we can go in and we can explore these things. But one of the things that comes immediately to our attention is that one of the results in the search engine is this AI powered search box. And so that's one of the things that has changed in 2023. Um, AI hit the world in 2023, and the world's trying to figure out what to do with it. Really is kind of in 22 that it started really making its impact. But the conversation really started in 2023, where all of a sudden people were seeing that, what? This AI is changing the world that we're in. And so that's one of the things that we're going to have to grapple with. This is brand new. Technology always changes faster than society or regulation or really any. It, Society never keeps up with technology. It's always following it into the future and trying to deal with the innovations that come with it. And so one of the really nice things about this particular AI result is it asks, what are the ethical issues of data? So there's a lot of things out there about us. And I teach an analytics class, and that's one of the things that we spend a lot of time on is what are the ethical issues? We're not going to go into that today, but know that the ethics of how you are using somebody else's data is a very important thing in our society. And as we see the abuses of the use of other people's data growing, that's where technology is going to start catching up with us. It's already starting to do that. Here's the next thing it talks about: how can we protect data privacy? So these are the questions that um, that are in our mind. And sometimes technology is obtrusive. We don't want it to show up, and it does. And then there are what are some of the challenges of data innovation. But when I talk about data innovation and change, all the innovation isn't around data. We're talking about information and communication technologies. And one of the primary things that they do is to move, manage, analyze, and use the data for decision making processes. And so that is the direction that our economy is going. So if we look at this other idea that business runs on data, um, we're at a unique time. I guess it's always a unique time, but we're at a point where business and personal lives are starting to more and more and more be run by data. And so we need to understand how to work with data in order for us to get the information, to get the knowledge, to get the insight into the directions that things are going, so that we can make decisions, whether it's a business decision or a personal decision about where things are going to go. And so this is, I mean, there's always been businesses that were run on data, but we're now at a point where most businesses are being run on data. And if you're not, then you're less likely to have the competitive edge you need to outcompete your competitors in the business world. And so data is one of the things that is becoming one of the very important things that you need to learn in school. And in this module, we're going to start doing that. As we're working on Excel, what we're doing is introducing you to the most common tool that is used in business in order to manage data so that you can gather what you need from it so that you can make informed decisions. Um, and so that's the environment that we are at now. This has seen some very rapid change in the last couple of years. One of the drivers of the very rapid change was on in the United States on Friday the 13th of March 2020. The president declared the COVID emergency, and on that day, that is when I relocated from having an office on campus to having an office in my home. My wife relocated on the same day, and she doesn't have an office on their campus. She doesn't teach. She works in healthcare, but on not on the patient facing side, but in the on all the support kind of stuff. And her office is down in the basement. She doesn't even have a place to go back to where she used to work. She is permanently an online employee now. From all practical purposes, I am too. I still go in once in a while, and it's mostly for the social, because that's one of the things that technology doesn't do as well as it does, say, data, is the social interaction. But that said, there is a lot of social interaction that can be built into digital environments. And as a society, we're learning how to cope with that. Now, what COVID did to us uh, is, and this is my opinion, but I could support it in a lot of ways. What it did is it moved us about a decade ahead down the path that we were already going. So the idea of remote working wasn't new. It was argued at the time that it didn't work, or it couldn't work, because there had been no experience really of mass remote working. Well, one of the things that the COVID period did is it gave us an opportunity to see that yes, people can work remotely, people can be productive, people can be innovative, and it can change the way that we do business. There are a lot of buildings that used to be office buildings that now stand vacant, and they're trying to figure out what to do with them. But there's also this pushback now where some executives are trying to get people to come back into the office, and they're getting a lot of pushback from some of the people who are like, I don't want to go back into the office. I like working remotely. And one of the caveats is, but I miss the social aspect of it. So that 10-year jump ahead that the COVID emergency did, it moved us technologically forward. But we didn't have that time to adjust to this new world. And we're seeing that adjustment coming now. And so one of the innovations that we see coming out of this data-driven world, this ability to communicate digitally with our coworkers, with our clients, with our suppliers, with whoever, is that we really don't have to do things the way that they used to be done. But there's another thing that we need to talk about, and that's innovation itself. And innovation is, and again, this is a AI generated piece of information here, but it's the process of creating or improving something new, useful, and valuable, such as product, service, or idea. And so innovation is the idea of bringing something new into our thought process, whether it's working from home or whatever. And there's a lot of innovation going on, and it's not all around data, but a lot of it is. And in the last module, we talked about virtual reality. Well, virtual reality is one of the areas of my research, or that is the area of my research. And so I'm looking at how to use virtual reality in a way that can help me to help you to understand where the technology is going, whether it's in a personal or a business related concept. So this is a headset. This is a extensible reality, meaning that using this headset, I can see the world around me and I can overlay content onto the world around me. I can also use it as virtual reality, which would blank out the real world around me and the environment would be completely digital. And then there's mixed reality, which I haven't found an application for yet. But that's one of the things about doing these things is we're learning how to do that. And mixed reality is when the virtual reality or the digital reality interacts with the tangible reality. There's not that much of that going on. I've seen a few games, but we're in a stage where change is happening. And this is one of the areas that it's happening. And so, moving into careers in ICT is going to expand rapidly what our opportunities are. So, one of the things that I do is I just taught a course in virtual cinematography. Virtual cinematography is, and I'll start this just so that you can kind of see it in the background. Virtual cinematography is the ability to make movies in virtual reality. And so this is actually a video that I made for my course in virtual cinematography. And what it was is a sort of a travel video for Destination Door County, where I took images and I took video. I brought them into virtual reality, and then I created the camera paths and all of that. What you're seeing on the screen is all done with camera paths. There's no scripting. It's a very artistic approach to using virtual reality, in this case, to make a travel blog. But I use it for a lot of things. I don't do programming and I don't do animation. I create scenes, call it art. Uh, Although it's not all art, like the images here, is that art or not? The way I incorporate them would probably be considered art. But this is a how do we use technology to change the way we do things? Virtual reality, augmented reality, extensible reality, mixed reality, all those realities are ways that we can find of creating content in ways that has never been done before. The consumer access to virtual reality has only been around for a few years. So we are really 2016-ish is when the HTC Vive hit the market. That kind of marked the beginning of consumer level virtual reality, and it's changing really quick. The size of this headset compared to, you can see some headsets in the background there. It's a third of the size of the sets that we had a few years ago. They're getting lighter. They're getting more capable of doing different things, and they're allowing us to look at the world in different ways. And so this is one technology that I happen to be working with that's coming around and allowing us to innovate and change. And so, as you're looking at this, don't just look at the past, look at the future, look to see what's coming down the pipeline in the future so that we can use this technology to be prepared for what's coming so that we are ready when business is ready for us, and we can introduce to business different ways of thinking than we've been trapped in forever. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Data, innovation, change, information and communication technology. We're in a really cool time. Things are changing really fast. And this is the world that we find ourselves in as you are taking this class. Talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.